Joe Rogan got red pilled, folks. Now, if you don't know, Joe Rogan has never wanted Trump on his show. Never said he would bring him on his show because he did not want to promote Trump. That is his opinion in the past. Being Joe Rogan is a bleeding heart liberal at times when it comes to certain issues. He just did not like Trump. Well, recently, Joe Rogan met up with Trump at the UFC fight, shook his hand. They had a little short conversation there. And since then, Joe Rogan has been doing a lot of talking about the Biden corruption, the two-tier justice system that has been going after Trump again, again, and again. And he's finally starting to get red pilled, and he's red pilling his audience as well, just by explaining what he knows about, what he sees with his own eyes, what's going on in our country. And I'm glad to see it. Thank God for the Bill Maher's, the Joe Rogans, the Elon Musks, the people that have the left wing audience in their ear that are able to reach out there and maybe get some people's minds going in the right direction. So I just want to give all props to any of these people that hated on Trump since day one that are now saying, well, I have a choice at this point. Biden ain't my choice. And I'd love to see that. Let's go ahead and get into the video, folks. Good stuff.
No one is going to run against Trump in the Republican side and win because you're not going to get the Trump supporters. They are all in on Trump unless he has a stroke, unless something happens that's horrible. They're all in on Trump. If you run against Trump, you're now the enemy of Trump. If I was friends with DeSantis, I'd be like, don't do it. You can't beat that guy. You just can't. When that guy gets out there and he's waving to people and they're going crazy, you're not beating that. There's a fucking, and the fact that he was the president for 4 years and the country was in a great economic situation, and it looked like his policies were actually effective, and that it looked like the unemployment was down, all business was building, regulations were being relaxed, more things were getting done. You know, when you look at it from a policy perspective, if you just look at it on paper, what he did was effective. A lot of people think it was effective. You don't like him as a personality, so you ignore that. Don't do that. Look at it in terms of a policy perspective.
That's right. Just like I heard on the Russell Brand show, who is another lefty who has come around to being red pilled in some ways. He said something I thought was really a strong message the other day talking about Trump. He said the facts don't care about your feelings. Whether you like Trump or not, he was obviously the right man for the job at the right time because his policies were working. Whether you hate him, whether you got Trump derangement syndrome or not, you got to admit the economy was better, if nothing else, under Trump.
People liked the ideas that he was putting forward. And now you're saying, like, oh, the wall is raised. Now the fucking, everybody thinks there needs to be a wall. Even the mayor of New York City is now calling to stop immigration into his city. And this was the guy that called it for it to be a sanctuary state. When the reality of what your policies, what kind of actions you put forth, what the results of that are, and those results are highly negative, you're forced to sort of recollect your thoughts and come up with a new perspective. And that's what the mayor of New York City is doing right now. When you just look at what Trump's policies were, and then obviously COVID hits, there's a lot to that, the lockdowns, the economic collapse, all the shit that came with that. None of that is good. And then Trump holds up this like hope to bring us back to where we were when he was in office. You're not going to beat that. I don't think they're going to beat that. I don't think, when you look at the Russia collusion, when you look at the Steele dossier, when you look at all the bullshit they tried to throw at him that we now know is bullshit, not just bullshit, but coordinated bullshit.
He is making a great point here, folks. Whether you like Trump or not, when you look at all the shit they have thrown at him, and now you find out years later that it was all made up garbage in order to smear the man, whether you like him or not, it makes you at least want to root for the guy as the underdog because he's being persecuted for no good reason other than he's the enemy of the state. And I say that lightly. Because at this point, the deep state is what I mean when I say he is the enemy of the state. The deep state is in full-blown panic because they don't really know exactly how they're going to prevent Trump from coming back and mopping the floor with these idiots that are currently trying to use and abuse him for just trying to help this country get back to where it needs to be.
When you look at the fact that they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story and that 51 intelligence agency representatives signed off on that to say that this was Russian disinformation, which they know is not true, that's scary. Because now you have the intelligence agencies colluding to keep a guy from being president that was president during a time where the country was thriving economically. You're not going to beat that guy.
Would he get your vote?
He'd get my vote before, excuse me, he'd get my vote before Biden. I said that before.
Boom, right there. He'd get my vote before Biden, and I hope his 5+ million listeners that he has every single day pay attention to what he's saying here. Whether you like Trump or not, he's not the bad guy in this situation as far as these two candidates, Trump versus Biden.
I don't think that I never thought that Biden was going to make it. I never thought that he was going to be functional. You know, like regardless of what kind of power the president actually has. And it appears under Trump, the president has a lot more power than we think they do. But under Biden, it's like he's handled. Like he's just out there talking and saying, the real problem is Donald Trump. Donald Trump, what he's done is terrible. He did in the office. It's all nonsense. It's like everyone's treating him with kid gloves because they don't want to prop up Trump. They don't want to go after him because it'll weaken the Democratic Party.
So when you're having Trump on?
I don't know.
Okay. The look,
I don't know. Maybe.
Looks like you got something.
Maybe.
Okay, good.
Now that is a long way from where Joe Rogan was previously. There's no doubt about it. Joe Rogan has been asked several times in the past if he would have Trump on his show from other guests, asked this very question. And Joe Rogan's response at the time was, no, I can't promote Trump at this point. Because he didn't agree with a lot of Trump's rhetoric, his conversation, the way the media portrayed him, and he fell for it hook, line, and sinker. But now that he's starting to see things through not rose-colored lenses, but through his own optical view, he's starting to see Trump wasn't the bad guy. The media was the bad guy. The DOJ was the bad guy. All these lies that were concocted by the Clintons and so many other people. That's the problem. Trump wasn't the problem. The problem was Trump got in there and rocked the boat too much for the Uniparty.
What are you greeted with? When do you know that people are fucking with you? When do you know that the intelligence agency is lying to you? Like when you decided to fire Comey, what was the thought? How much did you know? Like what's the machine like? What is the deep state really like? Really like? Because we have all these, smoky room perceptions, like from the Bill Hicks joke, where they show you the Kennedy assassination from an angle you've never seen before. What is the machine that runs this country? Because it's very clear that it's not as simple as elected representatives that are doing the will of the people. It's not.
That's the absolute truth, folks. That is a great question. Who's really running this country if the president is only temporary? And that's where we got the rot in our system. It's these people that have got these tenured-in jobs that think that they are controlling the country because they do control the levers of power through their three-lettered agencies and their ability to work the system. It's called the deep state, folks. We've got to drain the swamp, as Trump likes to say. And I'm just glad to say it one more time. I'm glad to see people like Joe Rogan willing to step up and tell the truth and express it honestly, unlike all of the mainstream media. I just want to say thank God for the Ice-T's and the Joe Rogans and the Bill Maher's and the Russell Brands and the Elon Musks, the Jason Aldeans, the Tom McDonald's, the people that are actually able to reach other audiences, reach liberals and independents that are not necessarily Republicans or Trump supporters, and get this message out there, because God knows mainstream media is not doing their job. I just want to say thanks again to people like Joe Rogan. Red Pill in America, one mind at a time. Thanks a million. Like, subscribe, and share. Devoted Patriots. Everybody have a great day. Over and out.